Dear students, in previous classes we have studied about the neural control of the living being's body, human body as well. Now we will start with the chemical coordination and integration, because we know that the regulation activity or coordination and control activities are controlled by two systems in our body, neural as well as the hormonal or the endocrinal. In this chapter, that is chapter number 22, we will study about the endocrinal glands, different types of endocrinal glands, endocrinal secretion, their function, as well as the hormone action. So all these things we will study. First of all, we will discuss about what are endocrinal glands. There are some glands in our body which are responsible for secretion of some specialized type of chemicals. Which chemicals are necessary, those substances are necessary for controlling different types of activity in the body. So these glands which secrete that type of chemical are ductless glands. They have no duct for that, and they secrete their secretion in the blood circulatory system, and the circulatory system is responsible for carrying those substances from place of origin to the target place for their action. So these are known as endocrinal glands, and their secretions are known as hormones. These hormones are secreted in very less quantity, but they have a very vast impact on different types of activities. Now there are different types of this endocrinal glands in human body, about 10 in number, that we'll discuss through the diagram. We will discuss about the location or the site where they present in the body, then the secretion, that means these endocrinal glands secretes which hormone, and what are the functions of those hormones in the body, that we will discuss now along with the help of the diagram. Beside that, some of the hormones are also secreted by other organs in our body, like heart, kidney and gastrointestinal tract. Heart is secreting the hormone known as ANF, that we have already discussed in the excretory system chapter. These ANF are helping in decreasing the blood pressure by they dilate the vessels and decrease the blood pressure when the blood pressure is going up. So in this way it is controlling that. Now kidneys have the juxtaglomerular cells. These juxtaglomerular cells are secreting the hormone known as erythropoietin. These erythropoietin are necessary for erythropoiesis, that is the synthesis or formation of RBC in the body. Now gastrointestinal tract secretes 4 types of secretions. These are gastrin, secretin, CCK and GIP. Gastrin is secreted by the gastric glands, that is the glands present in the stomach. They are responsible, they stimulate the secretion of the enzymes in the stomach. Whereas secretin is secreted by the pancreas, and they affect the secretion of the pancreatic enzyme. They stimulate the secretion of the pancreatic enzyme, as well as they also helps in secretion of water, bicarbonate, etc. The CCK or the cholecystokinin is the other hormone which is secreted by the body, and it helps in stimulate the gallbladder to secrete bile, as well as it also stimulates to the pancreas to secrete pancreatic enzymes. GIP, that is gastric inhibitory peptide hormone, it has inhibitory impact. So all these hormones, when they are secreting and doing their function, this hormone is inhibiting the secretion of all these 3. In this way, the control and the coordination takes place. We'll discuss the endocrinal glands, location, their secretion and function of all these hormones with the help of the diagrams.
Endocrine system in our body is associated with control and coordination along with the nervous system. Nervous system is also associated with that, and endocrinal system is also associated with control and coordination. Endocrine system consists of the endocrine gland as well as their secretions. That is, what is the substance secreted by the endocrinal gland is known as hormones. Endocrine glands are those glands which are having no duct. So, ductless glands are known as endocrinal glands, which are secreting the secretion in very less amount, and directly they pour directly in the blood. Blood is responsible for taking all these through the circulatory system to the target organ from this place of origin. These are about 9-10 endocrine glands are in our body: hypothalamus and pituitary, as well as pineal gland in the brain, thyroid and parathyroid in the neck region, thymus in the chest region, then pancreas, adrenal gland is near the digestive system, in the abdominal cavity, then ovary as well as this testes. These are known as gonads. These are also the endocrine glands, and the placenta during the process of during the pregnancy time. So, these are some this endocrinal glands which are the part of endocrinal system. The hypothalamus is secreting two types of hormone, that is releasing hormone and which stimulate the anterior pituitary for their secretion, and that will affect the target organ, whereas it is also secreting the inhibitory hormone which are responsible for the inhibition or stopping of that of the functioning of this anterior pituitary gland as well as its secretion. This slide is showing the list of the hormones secreted from the hypothalamus present in brain and their respective functions. For example, GHRH, that is this growth hormone releasing hormone, stimulates the secretion of the growth hormone. Second is growth hormone inhibiting hormone, that is GHIH, inhibits the secretion of growth hormone. Then TRH or thyrotropic releasing hormone stimulates the release of thyroid stimulating hormone, that is TSH. Then ACTH RH, that is adrenocorticotropic releasing hormone, which stimulates the secretion of adrenocorticotropic hormone. It stimulates then GnRH or the gonadotropin releasing hormone, stimulates the release of FSH as well as LH. This PRH, that is prolactin releasing hormone, stimulates the release of prolactin from the pituitary. Then prolactin inhibiting hormone inhibits the release of prolactin. Melanocyte stimulating hormone releasing hormone, that is MRH, it is stimulating the secretion of melanocyte stimulating hormone, that is MSH. The melanocyte stimulating hormone inhibiting hormone, that is MIH, inhibits the secretion of melanocyte stimulating hormone. In this way, these are some hormones secreted by the hypothalamus and doing their proper function. This slide is also explaining about the different types of endocrinal gland, their secretion as well as their effect in the body. This hypothalamus we had already discussed, it is secreting two types of hormone, stimulating hormone as well as inhibitory hormone, whereas pituitary gland, which is also known as master gland, is secreting different types of hormones for particular functions. And pineal gland is mainly associated with the main hormone as released is known as melatonin, and this is responsible for the biological rhythm including the sleep wake cycle. Thyroid hormone is responsible for metabolism regulation and secreting different hormones like thyroxine, etc. Adrenal gland, which is present just above the kidney, it is secreting the hormone, that is adrenaline or adrenaline, etc. and they help in they are also known as the fight or flight hormone response. They are giving such type of response. They stimulate the release of glucose to provide body with energy and suppressing the immune system. Ovaries and testes are the gonads which are also secreting estrogen as well as testosterone respectively. They control the regulation of female and male reproductive structure, and in this way they are helping in various activities. This is also the list of the hormones which are secreted by different endocrinal gland and doing different types of functions. This slide is showing different types of hormones secreted by pituitary gland. Pituitary gland can be divided into two parts, anterior as well as posterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary glands secreting the following hormones, that is thyrotropin, adenocorticotropin, luteinizing hormone, FSH, that is follicle stimulating hormone, growth hormone, prolactin, melanocyte stimulating hormone, endorphins and enclepins. Whereas the posterior pituitary is secreting only oxytocin and vasopressin. These hormones are doing their particular functions. Growth hormone is associated with the growth of the body by cell division, cell multiplication, differentiation, etc. Whereas ACTH control the secretion of some adrenocortical hormone and affect the metabolism of glucose, protein and fat. TSH control the rate of secretion of thyroxine as well as thyronine, and they are also associated with different types of functions. Prolactin promotes the mammary gland and development of the milk production, whereas FSH and LH are associated with the hormonal and reproductive activities. ADH control the rate of water excretion into the urine and helping in controlling the concentration of water in the body fluids. Oxytocin helps in express milk from the gland of the breast and possibly helps in delivery of the baby at the end of the gestation period. So, in this way different pituitary hormones are performing different types of activities. But here in the diagram also we can see this same.
We have already discussed about different types of hormones secreted by different endocrinal glands as well as their effect on different various bodies activities. Now we will discuss about the mechanism of hormone action, how these hormones act in our body. There are some specialized proteins known as receptors which are present in the body. The hormones will unite with these receptors and it will make hormone receptor complex and they will alter the changes in the body. Now these receptors are again of two types. Some of the receptors are present on the plasma membrane and they are known as membrane bound receptor, as well as some are present inside the cell and known as intracellular receptor, generally near the nucleus or the associated with the nuclear membrane. Now when the hormone receptor complex will form with this membrane bound receptor, they will usually not enter inside the cell, but they send the second messenger for changing the metabolism, for controlling the metabolism, and these second messengers may be the AMP or GMP or the calcium ions or IP3 etc. These act as the second messenger, and by using these second messenger, these membrane bound receptors along with hormone will help in the process of regulate the cell metabolism etc. Whereas the intracellular receptor will here the hormone receptor complex will be made with this intracellular receptor and they regulate by the changing the gene expression. They alter the functioning of, they control the functioning of the genome and they are associated with the regulation of the gene action, hormone action etc. Here no second messenger is utilized. So in this way the mechanism of hormone action takes place.
Now we will study the functioning of the hormone, how these hormone functions. The mechanism of hormone action takes place by two methods. There are two types of receptors, that is special type of protein present on the cell membrane as well as inside the cell. When it is present on the cell membrane, known as membrane bound receptor, and when inside the cell it will known as intracellular receptor. Now when it is present on membrane, then the hormone will make hormone receptor complex and the this hormone will not enter inside this cell, although it will generate the second messenger like cyclic AMP, calcium, iron, etc., and they are sent inside to do the function, and they will change the physiological response. So in this way they functions through the second messenger, whereas the hormones which are the receptor present inside the cell, that is intracellular. Now here also the hormone receptor complex will be formed, but they will not use any second messenger, although they will change the genome of the cell and the physiological response. In this way the function will be, body activity will be controlled. So the extracellular messenger, the hormone combined with a specific receptor on plasma membrane, and these complex activates the regulating component of the protein designated as G protein or nucleotide regulatory protein. So in this way the function occurs and the mechanism of hormone action takes place.
Depending upon the chemical nature, there are different types of hormones. They are categorized into different types. There are mainly 4 types of hormones. That is, first is the peptide or polypeptide hormone or protein hormones. Some examples of these are like all the pituitary hormones, hypothalamic hormones, etc. Second type of hormones are known as steroids like progesterone, testosterone, etc. Then iothyronine is the third category, that all the thyroid hormones are of this category. And fourth type is amino acid derivatives, for example epinephrine. So in this way there are different types of hormone depending upon their chemical nature, which are associated with this membrane, controlling of, regulating of different activities either by membrane bound receptors or either with the help of intracellular receptors. Now we will discuss this mechanism of hormone action with the help of the diagram.
There are different types of hormones depending upon their chemicals. Which type of chemicals are present in the hormone? They categorize the hormone in following types, that is steroids. Examples are the steroids can be divided into 2 types, that is sex hormones as well as the adrenal cortical hormone, that is also known as corticoids. The sex hormones is of again 2 types, female sex hormone as well as male sex hormone. Female sex hormone like progesterone, estrogen, whereas male sex hormone like estrogen, testosterone, etc. Other types are peptide hormones. Examples are, here you can see insulin, glucagon, somatotropin, FSH, LH, all these are. Then amino acid derivatives are the thyroid hormones, and the other amino acid derivatives, example here we can see, and the other types, that is miscellaneous types of hormones depending upon which type of chemicals are present in the